Welcome back to the channel, Helldivers. Now today in this video I want to go over weapon customization and what you should be prioritizing as far as which weapons you should be leveling first. Now at the moment customization is only available to our primary weapons, but not all the primary customization options are created equal. If this is your first video with the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and let's get started. Now actually before we start talking about the customization options, let's talk about weapon leveling and we'll get through this in like 30 seconds. So the max level at the moment right now for your primary weapons is 25. Now these levels do come pretty quickly, but the higher your weapon level is, the more experience you're going to need for that next level, and you sort of hit a soft wall at level 20. Now the fastest way to level these weapons is eradicate missions. And why is that? Well, eradicate missions, they're not very long, and alongside that you also are almost guaranteed getting a full star rating on those missions, meaning you're going to get the maximum amount of requisition points. And why are requisition points important? Well, once you level these weapons, it then unlocks the features that you then have to buy with rec points to actually then be able to equip them. And those level 15, 20, 25 unlocks, well, they're pretty pricey as far as rec points. So that's why eradicate missions are probably going to be the most popular way to level these weapons. But keep in mind, it is boring and it is mindless. I did this for my first weapon just to see how fast it would be. But again, what you do with this information is up to you. Now let's move on to talking about weapon customization. And first, we'll start with the assault rifle category. So if you're a fan of assault rifles in this game, you are eating good because essentially assault rifles have some of the most customization options available at the moment. So if we look at the AR Liberator right here, you have your optics, and thank God we can change the optics because that 2 red dot scope, the first one, the initial one you get there, is horrible. So if you see this scope on any of your weapons as an unlock or it's just like the base version, change off it immediately. This scope just sucks. And then after the optics, we have the underbarrel here. This is going to affect the recoil of your weapon here. I find that the foregrip makes this gun feel the best. You can see over there in the bottom right, the recoil sim, it kind of shows you how your gun is going to function once you start firing. And so the closer it is to that cross there at the bottom, the less recoil it's going to have. And then after your underbarrels there, you have your muzzles. This is going to affect your bullet spread. So you can see down there in the bottom right with no attachment how your bullets are kind of spread. Now if we go all the way down to say the compensator, you can see how the spread is lower to the crosshair and how it has more of a horizontal spread to it. And then last on the attachments are the magazines. You got something like the short mag and the drum mag. And if you have ever listened to me talk about ARs before, you know that my biggest issues with most of these ARs is the magazine size. So the fact that now we have a drum magazine, really love this change. Or I guess I should say this option. And then of course, all the weapons come with a skin pattern. Not all the weapons can be customized. Something like the kill zone weapons can't be customized, not even with their skin pattern. So just know 99% of the weapons you can change the skin color. Now, as far as the ARs go, I don't think you can go wrong with choosing any of these ones to level first, just because they all have plenty of options to customize, making them feel really good to level because you feel like you're getting something new every time. You can see I've already got the Liberator Penetrator all the way leveled up to 25. Feels amazing, have the drum magazine on it. Now, unfortunately, something like the Adjudicator and the Tenderizer here, these do not come with drum mags, but they do have that front grip there, and it does help the recoil, especially on the Adjudicator here. So, like I said earlier, when it comes to leveling in an assault rifle, I don't think you can go wrong with any of these. Maybe skip out on the concussive. That one's not really my favorite, but any of the other ones, really good. And I even want to give a shout out to the carbine here because this with the drum mag is going to feel amazing. I don't have it leveled up all the way yet, but it is high on my priority list. So that's enough about the assault rifles. Let's move to the Marksman Rifles. Now, unfortunately with the Marksman Rifles here, I don't recommend actually prioritizing any of these. Most of them only you can change the optics, and I actually do consider most of the Marksman Rifles, I actually like their optics, so I don't even really want to change them anyways. Now the Diligence and then the Counter Sniper Diligence, these ones, if you're going to level a Marksman Rifle, these are the ones I would prioritize just because they get the underbarrel change and also your muzzles. And even though we just got the new amendment here, yeah, it only has optics as well. So that's really all I have to say on the Marksman Rifles. Again, I really already like the scopes that these are working with. And then the Counter Sniper and then the regular Diligence, these are the only two that actually have a good amount of customization options even available. So let's move on to the submachine guns. Now, similar to the assault rifles, the submachine guns here have a lot of options, making them excellent to customize and level. You can see here the first one I actually leveled was the Pummeler here. Pummeler is one of my favorite weapons. This was the one that I did all the eradicate missions on, basically power leveled it just to see how fast it would be. And this with the drum magazine now feels even better than it did before. Same goes for the Defender when that eventually is going to get its drum magazine. So the Defender and the Pummeler, great options to level. The Reprimand, I've seen a lot of people using this just with the foregrip there. This gun feels just completely different. It doesn't have nearly as much kick, and it feels like that precision weapon that it should have been. I know that it got an update in the last patch to help that out as well. So adding on these customization options, again, just makes it feel that much better. Unfortunately, like I said in the beginning of the video, the kill zone SMG here, you can't even customize. So that kind of stinks. And then I don't think you can customize the Knight as well, which is the special edition, the Super Citizen Edition SMG. I'd have to double check that on my PlayStation account, but this is my Steam account. I don't have it unlocked, but I don't think you can customize that one either. But overall, submachine gun wise, yeah, Reprimand, the Pummeler, the Defender, you can't go wrong with either one of these. These are all really good options to level. Let's move on to shotguns. Now, when it comes to shotguns, I can only recommend leveling a few of them. I think actually the base Punisher here, this is a good option here, just because if you look at the muzzle and you go from no attachment to full choke, that tighter pellet spread there is a lot better than, again, with no attachment. So that's a good option if you like the Punisher. Unfortunately, something like the Slugger really doesn't get that many options. I can't imagine why it would in general, but yeah, just the optics with this one. Cookout, same thing, just optics, unfortunately. With the Hold here, I was hoping for a little bit more, but also they're just optics. Now, when it comes to the Spray and Pray and the base Breaker here, these two actually get a lot of options, and I would probably pick one of these to level. I'm more of a base Breaker fan. Now that this thing can get a drum magazine, oof, it's gonna feel so good. And so the only reason I'd prioritize the Breaker out of the Spray and Pray and then the Incendiary is because this doesn't have a base drum magazine that it comes with. And then you can just see the raw damage the Breaker does compared to these other two. And the fact that, again, it's getting that drum magazine, ooh, this thing is going to be so much stronger. But overall, with the shotguns, I think it's a solid category. I would definitely prioritize one of the Breaker shotguns first, and then maybe the Punisher if you like that. But just a solid category overall, and we can move on to the explosive category. Now, when it comes to the explosive category here, I really don't have much to say. I really don't recommend leveling either one of these. Now, arguably, the crossbow is one of the best, if not the best, primary weapon in the game. But as far as customization options, it just gets optics. I would like to take off this 2 red dot, but other than that, not really worth our time at the moment. The Eruptor, kind of same story. It does come with an underbarrel, but this is a very slow shooting weapon in general. So the fact that it has this underbarrel, really not, I would say, moving the needle as far as like changing how this gun functions. So again, just not a lot going on as far as customization. I think you can skip out on the explosive weapons. Now, when it comes to the energy category, we actually have some interesting options with the last scythe here. You get your optics, you get your underbarrel, and then you get a magazine to basically change how the heat sink works. So although I'm not the biggest fan of the scythe here, it definitely rises up on the priority list as far as leveling this weapon, because I want to see how these different heat sinks affect this weapon. Now you're thinking heat sinks, well, okay, do the other las guns get them? No, these ones just get their optics changed. And again, this is that 2 red dot, hate that thing. So unfortunately, both of these sickles are probably going to be sitting on the back burner. Now I skipped over on the Plasma Punisher and the Blitzer. Both of these just come with different optics. Luckily, both of these weapons didn't really need customization options to like move the needle. They're just both excellent weapons in general. Now, when it comes to the Plas Scorcher and the Plas Purifier, you have some options here as far as the underbarrel, more so with the Scorcher here, because this thing can go full auto. So having a foregrip here is going to help that recoil again when you want to go in that full automatic mode. And so I feel like this actually is a good option to actually customize and focus on. Not so much for the Purifier, just because this is a slower firing weapon and it has a charge up. So the recoil on it, I don't think is as big of a deal. Now, I do love the Purifier here, and I will be leveling this sooner rather than later. It's just, yeah, the customization options, I don't think they're going to be as impactful as they are for the Scorcher here. And then rounding out our list here, the Torture, it just gets a pattern, so maybe skip out on leveling this one at first. Now, the Jar 5 Dominator, on the other hand, it does get an underbarrel, and that's a good thing because the Jar 5 Dominator here, it kicks like a motherfucker. So this thing is going to help out this weapon a lot. I wouldn't say this is on the highest side of my priority list, but it definitely sits somewhere in the middle, definitely not bottom of the barrel. Now, initially, this was just going to be a top 5 list as far as what to prioritize with leveling your weapon, but as I was going through all the categories and looking at all the weapons, there was just too many of the weapons that were going to be changing functionality-wise from the customization available to them, so picking just 5 felt very limiting. Now, I do want you guys to tell me what guns you're prioritizing. Maybe I missed out on something. I am, after all, just one Helldiver. But yeah, that's the video. Now, I was thinking, when new players come into the game, or if we ever get our Xbox brothers brought into the Galactic War, just the pure dopamine they're gonna get hit with as they complete missions, because you're gonna do your normal leveling, which is going to unlock stratagems. You now have this weapon customization system with your weapons. You're getting medals for your war bond. You're getting samples to upgrade your super destroyer. There's just a lot going on when you complete a mission. Again, if you're a new player, and man, that hit of dopamine, that's gonna be crazy. But yeah, that's enough jibber jabber. I will see you Helldivers next time. Peace and take care.